Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butts, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. Since 2009, HRN podcasts have been exploring the wide world of food, beverage, and agriculture. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org.
This episode is brought to you by Roberta's, home of Heritage Radio Network since 2009. Learn more about Roberta's at robertaspizza.com.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Hello, welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm your host, Darren Bresnitz. This week, I make my way to Manhattan to chat with Chef Amelie Kang about her delicious dry pot restaurant MáLà project. She's on the verge of opening up a new location in Greenpoint, and she shares her stories of growing up in Tangshan, China, making her way to the CIA in New York, and how grandma still knows best in the kitchen. And then it's a dip into the archives when Dead Stars visited the HRN shipping container studio to play some songs, talk about their new EP from 2013, High Grain, and then share what they like to eat on the road. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy Snacky Tunes here on Heritage Radio Network. Amelie, welcome to Snacky Tunes. Thanks for sitting down with us. Always great to check in with people from New York City, one of my favorite towns to eat in. Thank you, and welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Sure, thanks for having me.
I was reading about you and read that you grew up in Tangshan, China. And you talked a lot about your grandma and your parents cooking a lot. What do you remember about their food, and what it meant to have home-cooked meals growing up?
Yeah, my grandma, she had an outdoor kitchen. And I just remember so vividly growing up standing on the little stool and trying to watch whatever she's doing. And she has this she just has one stove where it's a Chinese wok stove. Obviously one cleaver, and she does everything with that one knife and one wok. All of a sudden, she cooks a meal for like 6 people in the family within 30 minutes.
Love it.
Yeah, it's definitely. It feels like magic, and I remember. Actually, I forgot about this, but my grandma reminded me when I was younger, when they asked me what my dream would be, and I used to say I wanted to be a food critic. I had forgotten about this, and then after I opened the restaurants, they said, "Oh, your dream come true."
So, how long or how old were you when you went from just a watcher to actually cooking in the kitchen? And was it something you wanted to do, or was it, okay, you're old enough, it's part of your chores?
Yeah, I started this baking class with a chef from New Zealand because I had a lot of free time. I was attending to an international high school, and the class work wasn't as intense. So I was very intrigued. I always liked eating growing up, but because grandma does all the cooking, I never even thought about cooking myself. But I picked up baking, and I realized how much I love it. It's something that was already in me, and I was so obsessed with it. That's basically all I could think about is baking, what kind of butter, what kind of eggs I'm sourcing, and making different croissants and macaroons every weekend with my teacher. So yeah, I didn't really get into the kitchen until I was 17 years old. And then I went to the CIA, where I started going into the culinary side from the baking side.
Before we get to the CIA, you bring up an interesting point about your grandma cooking and you thinking like, the kitchen's hers. I'm not going to get involved. But I know that your parents also cooked. So at some point there was, if not a handoff, at least a parallel path of cooking in kitchens. When did you notice that your grandma and your parents were cooking for you, and when did you think it would be your turn to get in the kitchen?
I mean, till this day, I still have no space in the kitchen. I have no say. There's just not enough room for me.
You're like, I own restaurants, multiple restaurants. And they're like, Could you go bake something for us, please?
Yeah, they're like, okay, go watch TV and eat some fruits. So it's interesting because everybody had their own job in the kitchen. So everybody have their signature dishes. And when it comes to holiday season, everyone just stick to what they do the best. My grandpa is the rice maker. My uncle, he does the hong shao, the red braised pork. Grandma does scallion pancakes and all the other things. My mom does congee. So everybody it's always the same dishes that they cook every year. But they just, they take turn, and then they do their things in the kitchen, and then they get out. The kids are just, we can help peeling some garlic and stuff.
Sure.
But we're never needed.
Never need it. If there's some green beans you can snap, you can clean those.
Sure. Yeah.
So you mentioned going to the CIA. How did you first hear about it, and what was the reputation? And what did your parents think about you going to New York to go to cooking school?
Yeah, because they definitely didn't pay all that money for me to go to a culinary school.
No, ma'am.
No, I mean, back then, and even till now, culinary school is not a college. It's more like a vocational school in China, and there's no college that would provide you a bachelor degree if you are majored in culinary arts in China. I remember I was applying for school, and I was going for marketing or communications, something along the advertising line.
Sure.
And and I just couldn't stop picturing how miserable I will be sitting in a cubicle and staring at a screen. And I thought, okay, well, instead of searching for schools, I would spend time looking for restaurants and new bakeries that's opening up that I can go visit during the weekend, because it was a boarding school. And so I thought, oh, why don't I wonder if there's any culinary school that will give me a bachelor's degree in the U.S. And lo and behold, there's Johnson & Wales, and there's the CIA.
Sure.
So I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I remember turning to my best friend who was sitting right next to me. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do any of these. I'm done. I'm going to apply for a culinary school. And I went home that weekend. I told my parents about my plan, and my dad he's always been supportive of. He's the one that says, like, if it makes you happy, if you think you can do good at it, go for it. And my mom took a little bit more convincing.
Sure. So once you got to New York and you're at the CIA, what did you wind up cooking there? How much was a focus of it with Chinese food, or was it mostly European, style cuisine?
Yeah, definitely. All the foundation is based on French cuisine. There's a huge focus on Mediterranean, French, modern American, but not a lot of emphasis on Asian cuisine at all, let alone Chinese. We have three days of class that focused on Chinese cooking. And
how many days of classes overall, just so people know?
It's a 3-year. The cooking program is a 2-year program.
Right. Okay. Just good to know for relative sake. Right. 3 days.
Yeah. So we had three whole days of Chinese cooking, and I had actually taught some of the 3 days. There was one day where I showed everyone how to make dumplings. And there's another one. We made some Chinese cabbage and stir fry dishes.
You're like, am I going to get some of my tuition back if I'm teaching?
Yeah, definitely not a lot of emphasis on Chinese cuisine, and even till now, I don't believe there is.
So you're there in New York City, which almost every borough has an incredible Chinatown, whether Chinatown, New York, or in Flushing, or out in Brooklyn and Sunset area. Were you going out to eat? Were you homesick for the food you grew up with? How were you getting a taste of home?
Yeah, I was definitely very against going to Chinatown when I first moved here. I thought I grew up with this type of food for the past 18 years. I don't need to...
Sure.
Yeah, I don't really need to experience, so to speak. And that was definitely very kind of a arrogant way, and it was not very a limited thinking.
Sure.
I guess I could say. But we were just coming down to New York basically every other weekend, and we would go to all of these new American restaurants, fine dining, Michelin stars, French cuisine, and it was so exciting to all of us. And you can imagine a group of young chefs go in New York, and we were just in heaven. We would like eat from 8 a.m. until midnight, and then take a train back to Hyde Park. But it wasn't until after I moved to New York City after graduation, I started learning more about Chinatown and learning about the people that are in it and the history. And so I started appreciating it much more.
Yeah, I mean, it's so deep, and I'm out in LA, and the San Gabriel Valley is so deep as well, with the amount of regional and very specific esoteric type of Chinese cooking that sometimes you just feel transported to China, or into the different regions. And I found the same in New York, that the deeper, especially when you get to Flushing, when you really get into Queens, you're like, it's an education in some ways, at least for me. And it'd be like, I didn't know about this region, I didn't know about this food. Start talking to people, and they're like, we do this as close to as we can at home. If we can't import it, then we grow it, and we try and recreate the flavors of what we grew up with.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's take a quick musical break, and when we get back, I want to talk to you about life right after culinary school, where you cooked, and how you got the first idea and started opening up the MáLà project. We have a song from the archives here on Snacky Tunes on Heritage Radio Network.
When she was 45, they gave her 40 years to die. But why, oh why, oh why, he pulled his heart away and said his last bye. Too soon to die. We'll need more time. We're 85. The pavement felt so sweet. Color lines, overwhelming heat. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. I give a lot, I burn my tongue, drink to feel something. We'll need more time. We're 85. We'll need more time. We're 85. And if you disappear, you'll disappear for years and years and years. And all the sounds you like to hear, the sounds you like to hear, so clear. We'll need more time. We're 85. Too soon to die. We'll need more time. We're 85. We'll need more time. We're 85. We'll need more time. We're 85.
Hello and welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We're with Amelie Kang, founder and CEO of the MáLà project. So you've graduated, culinary school. You're back in the city. You've opened your heart and your stomach to Chinatown. Where were you cooking? Did you still gravitate to European cuisine and that fine dining because that's sort of where the success was, or the financial, I don't want to say security, because financial security in the chef world is a bit of an oxymoron, but is that where you could get jobs, especially coming out, with your bachelor's from the CIA?
Yeah, I actually was cooking during my externship during my third year in culinary school, my second year going into the third year in culinary school. And I was cooking at Bar Boulud, but I was on the garde manger station. So slicing deli meats, working with all the charcuterie, not much action, but I would help out as much as I could.
Mix. Yeah.
As they allow me. So I would stay overnight, help out with the events, so that the chefs are they would let me to stay over, and I try to learn as much as I can, and I tell them you don't have to pay me until corporate came in and they said that you have to stop doing this, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go home. But I was there for I think it was 6 months, or was it 7 months, and then I realized I was not going to go back to the kitchen. So I actually returned to CIA. We finished our management courses the last year of our bachelor degree. And then I graduated and started looking for other positions within the restaurant. And I ended up taking a assistant manager job at this place called China Blue. And it was a Shanghainese restaurant in Tribeca, and I thought they were so audacious to do what they were doing. It's a 3,000 square foot space in Tribeca, of all places. Wow. Very grand, beautiful, gorgeous space. The owners, they had back then there was the only one Michelin star Chinese restaurant in the city called Cafe China.
Love Cafe China. One of my favorites.
Legendary place. Yeah.
Legendary, magical. Just pour me into a booth there. I'll be there all night.
Yeah, absolutely. And they really started this new school Chinese trend. And they were there before anybody else was. They introduced service and nice interior, nice music, and nice decor on top of the food to Cafe China. And then they did the same thing with China Blue. So I took a job there and started my, I guess, front of house journey.
You mentioned an interesting part about the CIA college, which is the business side of it, because so many times a lot of these courses, they're 9 months, they teach you how to cook, and then they go, okay, go out into the world, and everyone's like, I'm going to run a business. But here you are, you have a real business education, you have the cooking chops, you're at this Michelin star restaurant that does Chinese food, and there's extra cost for that type of service, decor, and sort of re-education to people who may think of Chinese food as like a cheap, fast, not expensive experience. Did all these things start going into the idea of what your business could look like, of what your restaurant could look like? And did it give you that extra inspiration and push to start thinking about your first restaurant?
I definitely got the sense of what kind of restaurant I wanted to build while I was in college, because looking at the restaurants in Chinatown and just the existing Chinese restaurants back then, I felt angry because I thought all of these people, they're putting out the most delicious, wonderful food, but they don't realize customers are not going out just for the food anymore. They're going out for the ambience. They're going out for the music, what kind of connection you're building with the staff. However, the the first gen immigrants, they didn't have the resource or even the energy to think about all those things. All they knew was how to make the food delicious and putting it out on the table. And I was kind of upset by how like one-dimensional the Chinese restaurants were in New York. So I wrote my thesis on this Chinese restaurant that I wanted to open for graduation, and I wanted to build a place where it's a place where you can go out and take a date. It's a place where you can have a business lunch, and you would be proud of it. And not only you will get satisfied from the food, but just the overall 360 experience. And going into China Blue, I definitely even more solidified that idea, because that's what they were doing, and they were it wasn't enough because they were the only one. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this too, but I'll do it my way.
And I assume that thesis and those inklings is what eventually turned into MáLà Project.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was the process like in opening your first spot, especially not being from America, having this very unique point of view, at least unique relative to like what was going on in New York City fine dining at the time, or just restaurants at the time? How did you convince people that you were enough of a sure investment and enough of like a safety that it wasn't, that they can, turn this into reality?
Yeah, so it was two of my friends that I was working with at China Blue. They had actually reached out to me when I was leaving the job. They said, "Oh, if you ever want to open a restaurant, we would love to invest in you." And I thought, okay, cool. And then I said, okay, why don't we do it now? And I talked to my mom. She put in some money. And another childhood friend of mine, she was going to school at the NYU. So it was just 4 kids and my mom's money. And
I love it.
Had such a tiny budget. And I thought, I can do this myself. I had run some math and I saw I can do this if I just do a lot of it myself.
Sure.
Yeah, and we just kind of went into it without thinking too much.
I mean, there is no better way to get your start in New York in anything than being like, I can put it all on my back. I don't know how hard it's going to be, and we'll just make it happen. And now here you are on the verge of opening up a 4th one. How do you feel about the journey? How did you feel about opening the first one versus the second one and the third one? When did you know that like you had grown enough? How did you feel?
Yeah, I think with every single one so far, it's a completely different story, obviously. But one thing that's been consistent is that every time we get to work, we are so focused on just getting the work done, and there's not a lot of time or opportunity to say, okay, let me look up and evaluate, because when we've opened the first one, it was just like, okay, let's find a space. Now is the construction. Now is getting the licenses, and everything just come piling up, and you really don't have time to breathe, but to just keep going down the checklist. And it's the same thing with the second and the third and the fourth one. It's just different things on the checklist. So for myself, my checklist was going from painting the walls to buying the plates for the first location. A lot of the very hands-on, like the small tasks, to now, okay, let me find the manager, let me set a KPI. So like, the checklist still there, it's just the actual tasks are different. But definitely, I think we're very, very lucky to be able to get to this point. We're still a very small company, but we've grown very steadily. We're going to be 8 years old by the end of this year.
Incredible.
And we only have 3.5. Our fourth one isn't even open yet, but I can't be any more proud of the people we've met and the people we've served and the team we've built. And everyone, we basically grew up together. All the managers and the servers, they're still around, and and it's my first checklist has become their checklist, and it's incredible to see everybody's growth. But yeah, it's kind of magical.
I know one of the things you added to the checklist with the new location is a design team. You're bringing in Lauren Day
Yes.
of Love Is Enough, which in hearing how you opened the first one, which is like, let's get it open, let's get the paint on the walls, let's get the plates. What made you want to bring in a full designer? What did you feel that you wanted to say with this one, with the layout or the vibe of it, that you didn't have a chance to say with your first 3 versions of the MáLà project?
Yeah, I definitely felt a little bit trapped by doing all the interior and the construction stuff ourselves with the previous 3 locations. Construction is such a time-consuming and detail-oriented task that if you decided to do your own design and your own build out yourself, then for that 8 to 12 months, that's all you're going to be doing. And when we planned for our 4th location, I knew that I cannot spend another year to focus on construction and design. I also knew that I just didn't have I didn't have the eye to bring in another, aesthetically pleasing MáLà project. We need to, because each location we're trying to bring in different life and fit it into the neighborhood, and we want to keep surprise people. And I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to do that, and I think it was pretty clear that it was time to bring in a professional who we can learn from and let the professional do their thing.
Oh, I love it. I mean, that's the beauty of growth, is you get to bring in professionals to do their thing while you get to guide it from what you've built as well.
And admire it.
Admire it, yes. And be like, you don't know where all the cracks are painted over. You can be like, oh, this just looks really pretty because I wasn't here hammering all the nails and screwing all the screws. 8 years in, you've built this incredible restaurant group, and it seems like you've changed the perception and added to what people think about Chinese food in the city and beyond New York City. But then you've also built this incredible work culture and the way that people do business. How do you see them going hand in hand? How do you feel about the changes that you've made in the perceptions from the customers and the people that you work with?
Yes, we focused on our team first, and I knew that if we are taking care of our own people well, they're going to be able to take care of their customers well. We spend so much time with each other in a restaurant. You end up, becoming friends with each other. You end up dating each other, maybe. And we just have to make sure that everybody can have a good time together. And it really did happen organically, and I'm very proud of this really a delicate culture that me and the team created together. They ended up, they're treating each other the same way they treat the customers. And the customers can feel that, because I don't think, no matter what the business book says, no matter what how much you look into the numbers, at the end of the day, this is human to human interaction. And people can feel it from the way that you talk to them, what your energy level is like, and how you are, and people can see how you're interacting with each other. So very often I hear stories like some of our team members went out after shift and with our customers, and the customers are inviting them to their parties, and
That's so cool.
yeah, and it's not hard. It's precious, the fact that we're able to do that, but it's not hard to do it. You just need to treat each other like human beings and, like friends. And that's basically what we've been advocating with our staff. So even till today, we have a very transparent, way of communication. If we want to implement some sort of policy, if we want to make some sort of growth plan, we just make it very clear to the entire team, like it's just another updates with our friends. And so far, I think it's been paying off really well.
Amazing. Listen, I know people can't see the smile on your face at home, but just seeing you talk about the customers and the people and everything you built, it's so great to see. And before we go, I want to make sure that we talk about a little bit the vibe and atmosphere at MáLà Project, because when you walk in, it's such a great feeling. What can people expect when they come in, especially like what can they hear on the stereo? Like what's a night look like at the restaurants?
Yeah, so each location is different. Obviously, if you come to our East Village location on a weekend night, there's loud music and dim lights and just spicy dry pot flying around. There's a lot of action. But if you come in in the afternoon to any of the locations, it's quite relaxing, and you can have a really nice private conversation with really close friends. And the music, we actually are implementing new playlists. We used to play all the 90s Chinese music to set the vibe, and now we're trying to play with different types of music and different types of genre. So the music is kind of setting the tone for the ambience as well. And you can see from the customers that's sitting inside of the restaurant, it is really all sorts of people are here. You can see couples on a romantic date. You can see family with little kids and their grandparents. You can see business people in their suit and tie, just at different times throughout the day. And I think that's the magic of MáLà Project. You can find your favorite dry pot, and you can find your spot within the restaurant.
I love it. Well, Amelie, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing the final design and the launch of the new spot in Greenpoint. If people want to come to the restaurant or follow on with your adventures or check out some of your YouTube videos, because I believe, is the scallion pancake you're making in the video your grandma's recipe?
Yes, just not as good as the one she does.
Of course, on the record, Grandma, it's not as good as yours. It's just my attempt. But if they want to follow along, where can they go? Where can they check out all your stuff?
I'm on Instagram at Amelie Kang. We're also on Instagram as MáLà Project as a business.
Amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much. Thank you to Skylar and Ashley for setting this up. We have a song from the archives and then a live performance here on Snacky Tunes on Heritage Radio Network.
Ain't that funny what you do to me? You're my honey, as far as I can see. And you told me that you found someone new. Ain't it funny what time can do? ain't that funny.
Ain't that funny?
What you do?
What you do?
It ain't that funny, 'cause I'm so blue. I could love a million girls or two, but I'll never be over you. I'd give you all of my money, a car or two. I'd pay your rent, well, I'd even steal for you. I could break the law, commit a crime or two. Ain't it funny what love can do? Yeah, ain't that funny?
Ain't that funny?
What you do?
What you do?
It ain't that funny, 'cause I'm so blue. I could win $1 million or two, but I'll never be over you. Oh, one more time, Johnny. I'm gonna hit every bar in this doggone town, have a smoke, pop a pill or two, drink some whiskey and eat a big old steak too. Ain't it funny what love can do? Yeah, ain't that funny?
Ain't that funny?
What you do?
What you do?
It ain't that funny, 'cause I'm so blue. I could drink 1 million beers or two, but I'll never be over you. I think I'll have a drink with a girl named Sue, but I'll never be over you.
My name is Brandon Hoy, co-owner of Roberta's, a super duper awesome place. Roberta's is a very, 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 very proud sponsor of the Heritage Radio Network. We're also super awesome. Thank you, Heritage.
Dead Stars, welcome to Snacky Tunes. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How you guys surviving? How's the first half of the show go for you guys?
It was good. It was good. We didn't have to do anything, so that's always easy. Just listened.
Come in, hang out. We'll throw you a little some questions about barbecue.
Right on.
So you guys want to go around the room, do a little intro?
Sure. I'm Jeff. I play guitar.
I'm John. I play bass.
I'm Jay, and I play the drums.
And where are you guys all from?
Jay and I originally are from Jacksonville, Florida, but we've lived here, 10 plus years, and John's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all over, really.
I got an ex-girlfriend from Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
Me too.
You want to play that game?
Yeah, I think we all do.
Okay. We can play it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your girlfriend should never be in the current form from Jacksonville.
Right, exactly.
How'd you guys meet?
Well, he and I are cousins, so we met basically at birth.
Introduced us when we were babies.
Yeah. And you're like, I like your style, kid.
Yeah, I was like, man, you're really cool for like a 0-year-old.
Who picked up instruments first?
I don't know. I think we kind of did at the same time.
Yeah,
really, I don't know. Maybe I think I started playing guitar when I was like 8 or 9, and then stopped for a few years.
Yeah, he got a guitar first, but I remember when I was 5 getting one of those toy drum sets that looked like a real drum set,
Right.
but it was just like an aluminum, and I'd always bang my mom. Well, that sounds bad. I would always bang my mom. My mom wasn't. Let me rephrase that. My mom was an artist, and she had a lot of canvases, and I'd always take her paintbrushes and perform drum type painting. That didn't make sense either. On the canvases, not my mom.
Okay, yeah, and John...
no more questions.
Yeah. Let's move on to John here. John, yeah, we met John kind of through a mutual friend, and when Jay and I were putting the band together, we were looking for a bass player.
But we were mainly looking for someone that we could hang out with that was cool. And we met John. We're like, all right, this guy's awesome. So
What's that situation like? Like, did you guys just get drinks together first, or did you jam first?
I think we drank first.
Yeah, I was tending bar at a restaurant that no longer exists. It was called Santa Fe, then became Elote.
Oh yeah, right on Union.
Yeah.
That place.
Yep, which is right down the street from Jeff's apartment at the time. And Jay and I knew each other, and he was like, "Hey, you want to join our band?" I'm like, yeah. So bring Jeff in, and then Jeff and Jay came into the bar while I was working. Unbeknownst to me, they were actually really nervous to meet me as I was to meet them.
Even though I'd met him before.
Yeah. Isn't it always funny when dudes get nervous meeting each other?
Yeah.
I think girls don't understand, because I think there's a lot of pressure for dudes to get new friends or to start projects with other dudes.
It's hard to make new friends.
But I wanted them to know I was like a rockin' dude. You know? I was rocking things.
Serving like margaritas and like $3 tacos.
Exactly.
Yep.
Did you do like an air shred for them when they walked in?
No, I had to play fucking cool.
Oh.
Can I say that? Sorry.
Lots of free
Yeah.
drinks helped.
Oh yeah, free drinks. Like, I got this, and then after they left, like,
drinks for
thanks,
like
I'm so
6
sorry.
months.
Here, I'll cover their tab.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're probably just like, oh yeah, that dude, all those free drinks. Yeah, that guy's cool.
They might be my new band. Yeah.
That's all we really were looking for is another guy who's a bartender. So Jeff didn't have to hook us up. Hook me up all the time. We needed to get hooked up.
And when was this? When did you guys form?
Like 2009, somewhere around there. Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear a song, and then we'll get into the new EP and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What you gonna play for us first?
We're gonna play this song that we actually heard at the top of the show, acoustic version, of course, but a song called "Waste Away."
Awesome. All right, here we go, live on Snacky Tunes.
Guess I'll sit around today. Nothing more is what I crave. I know everything I do goes ignored without a thing to prove. But I can reach inside and pull you out in different ways to waste away. Nothing's changed. Still sleep all day. Yeah, I'm the same. If I dream when I'm away, am I bored? Am I afraid? I gain every time I try. No, I know that I can never lie, but I can reach inside and pull you out in different ways to waste away. Nothing's changed. Still sleep all day. Yeah, I'm the same. So why can't we be friends and live our lives in different ways until we die? But I can reach inside and pull you out in ways to waste away. Nothing's changed. Still sleep all day. Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
was great. I love an acoustic bass. Usually people just forego the bass when they come and play on the show because I don't think that many people play.
I don't think many people own an acoustic bass.
That's, I think, is more the case.
I guess
it's rare to see an owner.
Yeah.
I inherited this from a friend of ours.
In the 90s, I think.
Oh, yeah.
In the 90s.
Right. They stopped making them in 99.
Yeah, I think
that's
so,
it.
yeah.
No one's making new acoustic basses.
We do. I've worked with Martin Guitars, and they have like a line of acoustic basses, and I had never actually.
They're all vintage.
No, they make some new ones, but I'd seen some.
We're trying to riff here.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, they've got Kurt Cobain like face
Kurt
plated on.
Novoselic.
Oh my god.
Well, no.
Kurt's
but-
Novoselic.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's like just to time date it.
Yeah.
Semisonic. put
Friend
it
of
on.
ours, actually the guy that has the barbecues that take a long time.
Oh, yeah.
His brother
Wait, yeah.
gave us that.
Really?
But
He's from the
What-
90s.
I feel like barbecues inherently take a long time to get going.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I like hanging around drinking. I
Yeah.
like them to laugh. I don't want to get to a barbecue and immediately eat.
Yeah. Cause
no.
Yeah.
But how did he end up giving you the bass?
I think he just gave it to
Yeah, I mean,
He said, here's an acoustic bass.
his brother gave it to him, and he didn't use it. And he was like, "Hey, do you want an acoustic bass?"
We're like, yeah,
Real
sure.
nice guy.
Well, we've had just a couple stories of people getting gifted their instruments
Mm-hmm.
on the show, and it's usually a little bit not as basic as that story, but it's just like here's this thing that's taking up way too much space that I can't even like break out and play at a party. So
No, I think the
Right.
craziest one was Moon Hooch. You got those two insane
These guys got, like-
saxophones that they built their entire sound around.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So you guys formed together in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and then when did you know that you guys were all cool enough to be in a band together? Like, when did it all gel?
I don't know. From day one. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
true.
mean,
we vibed right away.
yeah, I mean, like I said, he and I have known each other forever. So it was just bringing one more person into the fold, and we all got along. So, and musically, it just kind of worked. Like, we're all definitely on the same page as far as like influences and stuff like that. So
kinda
it was really easy.
Knew what we were trying to sound like going into it, so that made it easier
Yeah.
to kind of work together instead of I want to play like this. No, I want to play like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all
like.
had the similar ideas.
Who are your influences? What do you guys want to be like? Or sound
I mean,
like?
it's not that we wanted to be like anything. It's just kind of that's what we ended up sounding like when we all got together. But I mean, we get compared a lot to like Dinosaur Jr., like Pavement-y, like definitely a lot of early '90s stuff. Like,
hence the bass.
yeah, exactly.
Hence the bass.
So
That'd be a good band name.
hence the bass.
Yeah.
What type of music would that be?
Early 90s.
I don't know. I think it'd be like dubstep, like
No, it'd be like Humpty Hump or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Hence the bass, Volume 1.
Right.
Volume 2.
To me, it has more of like a Mumford and Sons kind of.
I don't know if it'd
folksy
be,
sound.
I don't know if it'd be a band name, more like an album.
Dead Can
Yeah.
Dance.
And so you guys have the new EP that's coming out, right?
Oh, it's out.
yeah, it's actually out. Came out Tuesday.
Congratulations.
Thanks a
How
lot.
does it feel 6 days in? Is it a boy or is it a girl?
It's definitely a hermaphrodite.
It has all 10 fingers and toes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love it just.
Yeah, we
Just
love
the
it.
same.
Just
for
the same.
just-
No, it's good. Yeah, it came out on this local label here called Uninhabitable Mansions.
Yeah, tell us about the label.
Oh, it's a great label. I mean, it's small. They got good distribution. It's run by our friends in this band called Radical Dads, and they're
That's
another.
a good 90s name, too.
Yeah, they're an amazing band too, and super great people. And so yeah, they put it out, and we're really psyched about that. And it's been going good. A lot of good reception so far. So
And shout out to Dana Gurley, actually, for hooking
yeah,
us up.
definitely.
And how was the EP release show?
It was good. It rained so hard that night because it was
What?
on Friday.
Oh.
But it was actually a packed show. A lot of people came out, which was surprising. I thought, like,
Well, once
most
you get
people
them
would say-
there, they're not leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they no matter how bad we play, they couldn't leave.
It's not like a barbecue.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
apparently, yeah, if you want to schedule your barbecue, make sure you do it on a day we're not playing because that's guaranteed to be sunny. But if we're playing a show, it's going to rain.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
We had the same. We actually had a 4-year curse of these barbecues that we do. We're in our 6th year. That like it would be like beautiful, and then the one day like last year there was those 2 hailstorms, perfectly a month apart. Both fell on our
Hey,
barbecues.
I guarantee you, we were playing shows on.
and
all
we
those
had
days,
and we
all
had
4 years.
we had to the point where we moved. It was 5 years on Wednesdays. So this year we're moving it to Tuesdays because
Right.
we just need to know
That
if it's
being
us.
said, we moved it to Tuesdays supposed to rain tomorrow night and be sunny on Wednesday.
Well, I mean-
I'm shitting you. Are you,
Well,
are
I
you
feel
playing
you.
tomorrow?
No, I feel you though, because like I said, we played Friday it rained, and then Saturday and Sunday it didn't rain, and then here it is Monday, and we're doing something again, and it's raining.
We need to just coordinate our schedules because
And then sell those magical powers.
yeah,
Right,
well,
exactly.
it's like we just need to go to like hit the Midwest where there's droughts and just be like, we will come and
Yeah.
throw a barbecue
dancing.
and they'll play a show and it'll all be good. All right,
That's
let's
a
hear
good
let's hear
idea.
another song.
Yeah, all right.
Hold on, wait. It just started raining.
Did it really?
What are you gonna play for us?
I don't know. What do you guys want to play next?
Staring at the sun.
All right, we'll do that. It's another song. I think.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Dead Stars live on Heritage Radio Network.
It's great.
Nice.
So when you just like, do your families be like, "How's your guys' band?" Or do they ever like, do they demean it for a while? Ever like?
No, well, see, it's funny because sometimes you'll tell them something about the band, and then they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and you can tell they don't really get it or care.
Right.
But then, like, we just had a tune in USA Today the other day, and you tell them something like that, and then they think you're famous.
They think you're opening Madison Square Garden next week.
That's like
which paper? Save the article.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not in print.
That's like the New Yorker, New York Times thing for like litmus test for people. It's like your parents like don't really get what you do here until you're like, oh, it's like I was mentioned in the New Yorker at the time. They're like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
so your little pizza thing's working, huh?
Yeah.
Your little pizza stand.
Have you guys played any family reunions?
No.
We played a few weddings, to our chagrin, I guess.
We have. No, we haven't. We did.
What's life on the road like with you guys? Do you guys van?
Yeah,
bus?
we have a van. It's a really old van. Probably everyone's seen it before. It's completely tagged to shit, and it's like,
Oh, really?
It's actually it's an urban installation art piece. It really is.
Yeah,
It needs to go to the Smithsonian when we're done with it.
What's the food situation on the road with you guys?
I don't know. Like,
Not good.
you either go to get some fast food, or there's been times where we'll get like a styrofoam cooler, and you put a bunch of ice in it, and you go to the grocery store and you buy some turkey, you buy some cheese, bread, and then you make sandwiches. But then usually by the end of the day, it's just like sludgy ice turkey everywhere. And then
You got to get those freezer packs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also it's Roy Rogers if we don't make a lot of money at a certain venue, and it's Applebee's if we pack the house.
Yeah, we love going to Applebee's and like ordering shots at the like little weird
if you've left
tables
New
out
York,
there.
there's not a lot of food choices in between the major cities, unfortunately.
What's your meal choice at the old Applebee's?
I used to like their artichoke dip.
Oh, the thing I remember last time I had it tasted like a pile of salt.
I like the sweet and salty dipping sauces.
Oh yeah, those are really good.
They have big giant beers. I remember that. That was probably the best.
And all that fake
attribute.
memorabilia on the walls of like photographs of like the local towns and
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Bennigan's is way better than Applebee's though, but there's not too many of them left.
And that's got to be like a really
I
good
think there's
night.
one in Jersey, like right over the George Washington Bridge.
Yes,
I think Jersey is one of every ever like a Sizzler and
Yeah.
whichever's left, Roy Rogers and whatnot.
Medieval
It's a
times.
museum of every restaurant that ever existed.
So now that the EP's out, what are the summer plans?
Well, we've got a bunch of shows coming up. We're playing Northside Festival this coming weekend.
Hopefully it's not outside.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Rippers.
Yeah, we're playing Rippers August 10th.
Nice.
They rebuilt it.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so we're gonna do
Stronger
that.
than the storm.
That's going to be cool. And then we have a show July 31st at Glasslands. But basically, in between all that, we're going to start working on songs for a full length.
Rad.
And try to record that sometime in October.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah, so
Sounds like
just
that
trying
and
to
a couple
stay busy.
barbecues and
Play some shows, barbecues, work on new tunes.
Summer. Well, we want to make sure we have time to have one more song, but we want to give people the nuts and bolts where they can find you guys, buy the EP, etc.
Yeah. Well, you can get the EP. It's called High Gain. You can get it on iTunes. You can also get it through our Bandcamp page, which is deadstars.bandcamp.com.
I love Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
right?
like it does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but it's like it's just perfect for what it is.
and it's a bunch of different formats, which is cool. But yeah, also you can go to our Facebook page and check us out, like it, do all that crap. But facebook.com/deadstarsmusic, or you can just search it.
Instagram, Twitter, any of that stuff?
Yeah, we got Instagram. It's all Dead Stars Music. Instagram, Dead Stars Music, Twitter.
We should get Radical Dads on the show.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
That would be rad.
I think we can help you out
Yeah,
with that.
and talk about the label and have them play.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We are out next week. We'll be heading back from Bonnaroo.
Bonds. I'm trying to make that catch on, but I don't think it's gonna
think it's going to catch on.
The Bonds?
Nope. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Please make sure to come by the barbecue tomorrow night.
Yeah, BBQ Blowout June.eventbrite.com for $10 tickets.
You
$15.
get to meet us. One of us will be working the door. So
Yeah, no, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thanks a lot,
It was
guys.
a great guys. And
Thank you. Snacky tunes.
and as always, thank you to Dana and Girly Action
Yeah,
for being
definitely.
so
Shout out to
absolutely
Heritage. Shout out to Roberta's.
Shout out to Rippers, actually.
Shout out, Rippers.
Yeah,
Good job.
Rippers. Well done.
I don't know if it's done.
All right, what are you going to take us out with?
We're going to play a song called No Sympathy.
Okay, great. Live on Snacky Tunes, Dead Stars.
When you stay at home with your favorite bone, you can hear the whispering. There's no place to hide when you can't decide, but you feel no sympathy. There's no sympathy. You're so sick of me, yeah. When you turn your face and you can't replace, still repeating history. So you leave alone with your perfect bone, but you feel no sympathy. There's no sympathy. You're so sick of me, yeah. We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Snacky Tunes is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.